eloquently speaking. Welcome back to another episode of Legal Talk, where law meets justice and advocacy becomes action. I'm your host, Dr. Vickie Simon, and today we're weighing in on healthcare disparities that are being listed as policy violence. Now, let's stop and soften the language a bit, because healthcare disparities are not unfortunate outcomes. They are absolutely policy violence. When a system knowingly underfunds care in certain communities, that is known as harm. And when access depends on your zip code, that is also harm. And when outcomes are predictable and unchanged for decades, that is intent. Policy does not need to raise its voice to cause damage. It only needs to withhold care consistently. Underserved communities are not failing the system. The system is functioning exactly as it was designed. And design without accountability is not neutral, it is lethal. We must stop pretending that disparities are mysteries. They are the receipts of decisions made in boardrooms, in budgets, and in legislation. Now let's talk about exhaustion, the kind that no lab test measures. The exhaustion of explaining your pain consistently, the exhaustion of being doubted in every space, and the exhaustion of preparing yourself to be dismissed even before you ever arrive. That is what constant advocacy costs people. Mental health struggles in underserved communities are not clinical anomalies. They are normal responses to prolonged institutional neglect. When people are forced to advocate at every turn, their nervous systems stay on high alert. When stress becomes chronic, bodies begin to break down. And when bodies begin to deteriorate, the system blames the individual. That is not healthcare. That is abandonment followed by paperwork. Birthrights are dropping. And that should terrify policymakers, not because populations are shrinking, but because people are withdrawing from consent from a system they no longer trust, especially women, especially Black and brown women. When childbirth becomes associated with fear, trauma, and dismissal, opting out becomes self-preservation. This is not about choice alone. This is about our safety. Falling birth rates are not a cultural trend. They are now a verdict. This system is not safe to bring a new life into. And let's be honest about what's happening to healthcare professions that are dominated by Black and brown women. We can talk about nurses, midwives, community health workers, and doulas. These professions are threatening hierarchy because the center relationship over revenue. They listen, they slow care down, and they challenge top-down authority. So they are underpaid, they are underprotected, and as we know, they are overworked. This is not accidental. When systems attack the healers that are closest to the people, they weaken resistance. And when compassion is pushed out, compliance becomes easier to enforce, and patients lose the last line of defense that they had. Racism in healthcare doesn't always shout. Sometimes it whispers. Through policy, it looks like delayed funding. It looks like pilot programs that never scale out. It looks like equity initiatives that come without power. And it's like committees without reinforcement. Life-saving programs are stalled. They are defunded or quietly dismantled, not because they fail, but because they challenge comfort. Racism today survives by calling itself neutral, by hiding behind procedure, and by avoiding accountability while demanding patience. And people feel that indifference deeply. They stop trusting, they stop showing up, and they stop believing care will come in time. That is how lives are lost without headlines. Now let's stop pretending reform is slow, because it's complex. Reform is slow because it threatens power. Real reform would shift funding towards communities. Real reform would measure outcomes that matter. Real reform will hold institutions, not individuals, accountable. And real reform will value compassion as competency. It will redistribute authority, not just responsibility. The kind of reform scares systems that are built on control. So instead, they offer language, they offer task forces, and they offer patience. Communities right now are absolutely out of patience. And let's be clear, people are not asking this system for perfection. They are demanding dignity. Healthcare without compassion is not broken, it is dangerous. And policy without justice is not flawed, it is violence. Silence in the face of preventable harm is not professionalism, it is complicity. This is the moment systems must decide: reform or be exposed. Because the truth is getting louder and louder and louder. And people are no longer willing to die quietly. If today's episode moved you, organize. If it informed you, share it. And if it challenged you, plan. And if it reminded you that power lives in people, act. When fear breaks us down, strategy builds us back up. Legal talk is not just commentary, it's resistance. It's a call to action and a reminder that justice doesn't just come from silence. Thank you for tuning into Legal Talk today. I'm your host, Dr. Vickie Simon. I love you, and I'll see you at the front lines of reform. Until next time, stay informed, stay ethical, and keep serving your community.